the shame also is it kind of goes hand in hand, that the shame, the things that you've done when you were drinking. A lot of people, and I actually think that was a big thing for me in the beginning. I really struggled with the things that I had done in my past drinking days, and wondering, when will it go? When will the shame go away, right? And they say, you gotta sit with it, you gotta process it, you gotta work through it, you gotta write about it.
It sucks though.
Yeah, you gotta talk about it. And you have to do that, obviously, right? So do you want to speak to that? And, is there more to say about all of that? The shame, is that, I don't know, anything about like neuroplasticity and shame? I don't know.
Drinking is very, very shameful. You don't want anyone to know, you don't want anyone to see it. You observe people around you that seem like they have it all together and can control it, and you're the only loser in your life. I struggled with shame a lot because I used to embarrass myself a lot. I would get sick a lot. It was never in my house, ever. It was always in a public place. I fell a couple times really bad. I would black out. I was very attention seeking. So I would try to get everybody to listen to me, but I didn't have anything good to share at that point. And when I would be briefly sober in the morning, I guess, I would think back to the night before and oh man,
Cringy.
Yeah, why do you have to do this? And the only thing that would make that go away was drinking that night. So I didn't have to hate myself so much. But when I quit, I just had all of those memories, and I was wondering how much other people knew and what they remembered, and I didn't want to tell anyone about it because it was embarrassing. I didn't even want to tell my therapist about it because I thought it would make her not like me. And I had two moments that one I call my greatest shame, and one is second place shame. And I forced myself to tell my therapist. So there's this saying shame lives in the dark. It stays locked in our hearts, and we have to bring it out into the light to make it go away. And I remember the day, we were meeting virtually, and I just sat down, I'm telling you the greatest shame story. And I just did it, I didn't even wait for her response. And then when I got it out, I knew I never had to tell the story ever again, because therapists remember
You mean you're not gonna tell
everything
us,
you
right?
say. No! It's so bad. I mean, I can if people want to know. But,
just kidding.
I can, there's some bad ones. But my point is that sharing the shame is really helpful. And what helped me beyond sharing the shame was being a part of the sober community online. I saw people that I looked up to that were sober, and then they would randomly share their shame. And I'd be like, oh my God, that's what they did? Or they'd show a picture that was crazy. But I only knew the sober version of them that I admired. And I would look at those examples and I would think, well, I don't think that they're a loser for doing that, so why do I have to be a loser? And that's what helped me the most, I think, and getting the story out. So I would recommend doing both of those if you're really struggling with shame, but the shame's not gonna go until the drinking goes.
Yeah, that's really good, that's true. I think all of that's awesome, and I would just add that what I learned as well was that the judgment, I feel like I was worried about people judging me, and I thought a lot about those awful, shameful stories, and I had the cringy moments, and that, when your brain goes there, and you're like, oh, stop, I don't want to go there, no. But you gotta go there, and then you think to yourself, okay, why don't I want to go there? Why don't I want to even tell people these stories? Why don't I want to put it out there? why don't I want to show those awful pictures of me, like bent over a toilet or whatever, like, right? Those are the pictures you're talking about, like people posting those.
They do post those.
I posted them. I've posted some awful ones too. But what am I worried about? Oh, the judgment of others, right? And what I tell my kids now, this is the message I have learned, is that people that are going to judge you are really just, it's more about them, right? It's the feelings that they are projecting on you, their own insecurities. And it's absolutely something that I would have done, if I was still drinking, I would have been like, oh God, why is she doing that? It's so embarrassing, but clearly it would have been because I was, disgusted with my own shameful self. And it's easier to judge others and pass judgment on others than it is to look at your own problems. But we are reading Brene Brown right now in our book group, and Brene talks all about shame, vulnerability, and I would quote it, but I can't remember it. But she has some really great shame quotes and vulnerability quotes, and courage and bravery and stuff is foreign and shame and something. So read the book, because we're gonna have a book group chat in a couple weeks. Right? Have you read Brene Brown?
I haven't, but I know a lot. I watched her movie.
Oh, okay.
So-
Her TED Talk too.
Yep.
It was really great.
Yeah, I've watched the video versions of her work.